Just imagine, tonight you look up at the sky, but the moon is gone. Where there used to be a shining moon, now there's only deep darkness. The moon, it's disappeared. This isn't a movie, it's a thought-provoking reality. Our oldest companion, the moon, has left us. The night isn't the same anymore, empty, restless and strange. The stars are there, but they can't make up for the moon's absence. Since childhood, we've seen the moon in stories, songs and festivals. Its cool light has lit up our nights. Now that light is gone. Will only the nights become dark, or will something else change too? The silence in the sky feels loud. Will the sun rise in the morning? Will everything be normal? Or is this the start of a new era? So let's think, what would really happen if the moon just vanished? Without the moon, the effect won't just be on the night. It will change everything. The oceans, the weather, animals, humans, everything. This is like a science fiction story, but with real science. We'll understand that the moon isn't just a beautiful thing, it's an essential part of our planet's system. Without it, Earth would become a different and difficult place. So get ready. Let's explore what would really happen if the moon disappeared. We often think of the moon as just a nightlight or a symbol of romance, but for science, it's a cosmic anchor. The moon helps Earth rotate on a stable axis. This keeps our seasons stable. Ocean tides are also created by the moon's gravity. Twice a day the water rises, twice a day it falls, all because of the moon. Tides are important for the ocean ecosystem. They mix the water, carrying nutrients. The moon also slowly slows down Earth's rotation. That's why a day is 24 hours long today. If there were no moon, days would be very short. Life would be different. Without the moon, we wouldn't just lose a light. We'd lose the balance of our world. Seasons would become unstable, oceans would become lifeless, and the day-night cycle would go haywire. The moon is a silent guardian. Without it, everything would change. So when we think of the moon disappearing, understand that the stability of our world would also be gone. What happens next will be quite dramatic. As soon as the moon disappears, the first thing that comes is deep darkness. Cities might not notice much, but villages, forests and coastal areas would be plunged into darkness. Moonlight, which comes from the sun's light, would be gone forever. Nocturnal animals, owls, tigers, insects, depend on moonlight. Now their entire life cycle would be disturbed. Some would adjust, but many would struggle. The food chain could break. Humans would also feel the effect. Traveling, working, or going to sea at night would become difficult. Dependency on artificial lights would increase, as would energy consumption. The biggest immediate change: tides. The moon's gravity gone, so the power of ocean waves would also be gone. Tides would still come from the sun's gravity, but they would be very weak. High tides would now only rise 1 or 2 feet. The coast might seem calm, but deep inside, a big storm is brewing. This change would slowly become apparent. Food chains, fishing, and coastal life would all be affected, and this is just the beginning. Without the moon, tides would only be driven by the sun's gravity, and they'd be about 1/3 as strong. The intertidal zone, where crabs, starfish, and seaweeds live, would practically disappear. Tides used to bring them food. Now that ecosystem would be destroyed. Larger animals, like fish and seabirds, would also be affected. The coastal food web would break. Coastal communities, who depend on tides, would find their livelihoods at risk. Fishing, collecting shells, everything would become difficult. Tides mix ocean water, distributing heat. When tides weaken, mixing would slow down. Some areas would become too warm, others too cold. Ocean currents and weather patterns would also change. This is the beginning of a long-term problem. Ocean life and our own lives would both change, and these changes wouldn't stop. The biggest impact of the moon's disappearance would be on Earth's tilt. That stabilizer would be gone. Earth's axis would wobble. Seasons would become unpredictable. Sometimes summer at the North Pole, sometimes snow in the Sahara. Extreme heat, extreme cold, floods, droughts, anything could happen. Agriculture would be ruined, water scarcity would increase. Food shortages, migration, and the struggle for survival would begin. People would move from place to place in search of better weather. This change would come slowly, over thousands of years, but once it starts, it would be difficult to stop. Earth would become a strange, unknown planet. Life as we know it would end. Perhaps some hardy creatures would survive. But for humans, this would be a great difficulty. Our world would become a place of constant struggle. Extreme weather would become a part of daily life. Without the moon, Earth would be unrecognizable. The absence of the moon wouldn't just change the weather and oceans, it would also change life on land. The breeding cycles of many animals depend on moonlight. Corals, migratory birds, all would be affected. Without the moon, their natural signal would be lost. Populations could die out. Birds look at the moon for navigation. Now they would get lost. Nature's entire rhythm would be disrupted. Our body clock would also feel the effect. Sleep, mood, everything. The moon is also a part of our culture. Stories, songs, festivals, everything is based on it. Eid, Karva Chauth, Mid-Autumn Festival, all would lose their meaning. Calendars, idioms, art, everything would change. The beauty of the night without the moon would be incomplete. A sense of emptiness would be felt in the sky. Our traditions and memories would also change. Without the moon, the identity of our nights would be lost. So, what would a world without the moon be like? Nights black, oceans calm, coastal life lifeless. Many marine creatures would disappear forever. These changes would be immediately visible, but bigger changes would come over thousands of years. Earth's tilt would change. Weather would become unpredictable. Ice ages and super hot periods would keep coming. Farming, settling in one place, everything would become difficult. Humans would always be moving from one place to another for survival. Civilization could break down. Survival would become the biggest challenge. Perhaps we would move into underground cities or adapt with technology. But our lives, stories, and dreams would all change. Mention of the moon would become just a lost memory. Perhaps new creatures would evolve. Humans would also adapt. But Earth wouldn't be what it is today. It would become a different, unknown, and less hospitable place. Our home wouldn't feel like home. Without the moon, our world would be incomplete. Now relax a bit. Our moon isn't going anywhere. This was all just a thought experiment. In reality, the moon is perfectly safe, and it will stay with us. The laws of physics ensure that the moon will continue to orbit our Earth. Its sudden disappearance is impossible. The moon is slowly moving away from us, but its speed is very slow. It would take billions of years. By then, the sun might have already died out. So, tonight when you look up at the sky, make sure to look at the moon. It's our cosmic friend, our guardian. The purpose of this thought experiment was to understand the moon's value. We often forget its power. It's an essential part of the balance that has made Earth habitable. Without it, we wouldn't be here. So next time you see the moon, be sure to say thank you. The moon, our silent hero, making our world a better place.